Hello and welcome to Giddy Knits episode number 8. I'm Helen and this is my knitting podcast. Today is Wednesday the 17th of May 2017 and I want to start off by apologising for the light. It is a really grey and miserable and rainy day here and I do not know what it is doing to the light, but somehow it just seems really bright. But also dark at the same time. I don't know. Anyway, I've set it up with the light as best as I can, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, now that's out the way, welcome. Welcome back to existing viewers. Thank you for coming back. It's so lovely that you're enjoying my podcast and come back week after week. And hello to anyone who's checking me out for the first time. I hope you enjoy what I've got to show you this week. So, as I said, I'm Helen. And for those of you who are new, I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my husband Tom and my two boys, Arthur, who is 3, and Jasper, who is 6.5 months. I'm starting to lose track of those ages now. And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Giddy Helen. And we have a Ravelry group. Sorry, mine went blank there. We have a Ravelry group for the podcast as well, and that is Giddy Knits Podcast. So you can just search for that in the groups tab on Ravelry, and you'll find us there. Please come and join in. It'd be lovely, as I've said in the last couple of weeks since I set it up, if people could get chatting, get to know each other, it'd be nice if it starts to get very... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Come, chat, communicate. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, the other thing that I always forget to say is show notes. Show notes for the podcast can be found, if you're watching on YouTube, they are down below in the drop down bit. And I'll also put them in the episode thread I will also put them in the episode thread on the Ravelry group page as well. So that will have links to everything that I talk about, everything that I've been working on, for you all to find if you're interested. Right, so first of all today, before I get more rambly than usual, I just want to touch on a little bit of administration. I've mentioned the last couple of episodes that we have the Summer Stripe Along coming up, which is a collaborative craft along, which I am hosting alongside Emily from AndersMill Knits Podcast, Amy from Hudson Valley Knits Podcast, and Karen from SimplyStashless. It's not quite a podcast, it's more, she calls it a vlog, but so Karen from SimplyStashless. And the other lady that's actually hosting alongside us, she doesn't have a podcast, but she has an Etsy shop, I believe, and you can find her on Instagram, and that is Stephanie, who is hotpinksocks on Instagram and on Ravelry as well. So it's the Summer Stripe Along, and I've got a little bit more information about it this week. So let's see if I can get all this in my head. I've written it all down so I can try and remember everything for you. So as I said before, it will run from the 1st of June until the 31st of August, so throughout the summer, and it is anything stripy. Any project that is stripy, whether it involves self-striping yarn, self-striping fabric, or whether you create the stripes yourself, is perfectly fine. And also we're allowing any fibre or fabric based craft. So knitting, weaving, crochet, spinning, sewing, anything like that. Sorry, my voice is starting to go already. Excuse me. So yeah, any of those types of craft. Be creative. We'd love to see what you come up with. We're not allowing works in progress, so it has to be a new cast on. so cast on or after the 1st of June, and the project has to be finished by the 31st of August. But you've got 3 months, so that should be long enough for any reasonably sized project. We're setting there is a minimum in terms of project size. So we're saying 50 gram minimum if it's fibre based, or if you're sewing, we've said 3/4 of a yard of fabric as a minimum. Yeah. So there are minimums. Hopefully they're not too small. You should still be able to create things in 3 months. And as I said, absolutely anything stripy. We have set up a separate Ravelry group for the craft along, and that is the Summer Stripe Along group, which you can find again by searching. Although I will link it all in the show notes. We're going to be opening one finished objects thread for all the projects, and that thread is where we will draw for prizes. So there are going to be prizes. We have had a couple of prizes donated so far. I think Emily has had a couple of prizes donated. If you check out her podcast, there'll be more information in that. And yeah, I haven't quite worked out what I'm going to do prize-wise, but I will be contributing a couple of prizes as well. I will let you know what they'll be once I've worked that out. In terms of prizes, if there are any makers out there who watch me and would be interested in donating prizes, then that would be fantastic. And if you are, then please contact me on Instagram or Ravelry, and that would be lovely. But if not, I will work something out myself. So there's a couple of extra things that are going to be going on. Obviously, we've already got a chatter thread open in the Summer Stripe Along group, and the FO thread will be opening at the beginning of June. Amy is going to be hosting some virtual knit nights using Google Hangouts, which I've never used before, but we had a Google Hangout last week to sort of get together and discuss all the details and everything for the craft along, and it was really good. It was really nice. We just sort of sat and knitted and chatted. Yeah, it'd be brilliant. So I will definitely be joining in those when Amy sets them up. So keep an eye out in the craft along group. I'm sure she'll post a thread and she'll put dates and times and things like that in the thread. So if you're interested, it's really good fun and a great way to get to know other crafters. And Stephanie is also going to be hosting some swaps in the group as well, which sounds brilliant. I think that'd be so much fun. So yeah, we really want to make it into a sort of a community craft along where everything is collaborative and everyone can join in. So that is everything. I'll open a chatter thread. I know I said I was going to do it last episode and I forgot, but I will open a chatter thread in the Giddy Knits group, the Giddy Knits Ravelry group. So come on over and let me know what you're thinking of crafting if you're joining in. Yeah, it would be great to hear from you. Okay, so I think that is everything for the Summer Stripe Along. I think that's all the details. I will be podcasting again in 2 weeks' time, which I think should be before the 1st. I think it's like, I don't know, my brain can't keep up with the dates at the moment. I think it's probably going to be, it's the Wednesday before the 1st of June, whenever that is. So I will go through those details again just before the Stripe Along starts. Right, so moving on to my lovely knitting content. So this week I've got some finished objects to show you. I'll talk a little bit about works in progress. I've got a couple of new cast ons to show you. I was going to show you my blanket progress this week, which I haven't shown for a little while, but I have done some work on my blanket, so I will show you that. I have got some yarny goodness to show you, and then I'll finish off as usual with my little behind the scenes section. So let's get into it then. So I have got 3 finished objects this week. 3. I'm quite pleased with myself. Although admittedly one of them is really, really small. So I will start with the 2. They're not less exciting. Any finished object is exciting, but I have a really exciting finished object. So I'll start with these, and these are, as usual for me and finished objects, a pair of socks. And here they are. So these are my waving evening dress socks, as I've been calling them, and they are not matching, as you can tell, but I'm perfectly fine with that. They are plain vanilla socks, and I knit these out of the Opal gallery. Let's see if I can actually get this to show with this light. There we go, the Opal gallery. And as I said before, I've mispronounced this completely. This is the Wehendes Abendkleid colourway, which translates via Google Translate to waving evening dress, hence they're my waving evening dress socks. And I really enjoyed knitting these. I was in desperate need. Come up so you can see excuse the state of my fingernails, but I was in desperate need of some vanilla socks when I cast these on, and they were just perfect. And I love the way that these stripe up. I really enjoyed it. It kept me going. So yeah. So these were just my kind of... Oh, come on. Focus back on me, please. Hello. Let's get you to focus on that, and then we'll go... Come back to me. There we go. Oh, there's my hair all over them. It's not good, is it? Postnatal molting is still going on in this household. Losing all that hair I didn't lose when I was pregnant. It's even 6 months later. So these are my standard sort of vanilla sock recipe. I tend to do 15 rounds of 2x2 rib. I then do about 50 rows for the leg. I've started now using the German short row heel, and in fact this is the German short row heel from the Schrodinger's, that I found anyway, in the Schrodinger's cat sock pattern. And then I do, how many do I do for the foot? I think I do about 60 rows for the foot. Yeah, about 60 rows for the foot, and then I put the toe in. And this is the toe from the, this is, I think, I don't know if it's the same in her vanilla recipe actually, but this is sort of, it's a rounded wedge toe from Knitting Expat, Mina Phillips. This was probably in the Grand Central socks pattern, but yeah, it's just a rounded wedge toe. So they are my vanilla socks. And these are pair number... I can't remember. I have it in my my little knitting thing. Pair number 6 for my box of socks, which is the box of socks KAL hosted by Yarngasm Podcast and Kristen of Vine and Yarngasm Podcast. So yeah, pair number 6, and we are only just in May, so that's not bad. I need 12 pairs of socks to complete my box by the end of the year. Okay, so that is finished object number 1. And finished object number 2 is Jasper's little waistcoat. It's so cute. So this was a Hayfield Baby Chunky pattern. Pattern number, just check my notes because I can't remember what pattern number it was. Pattern number 4403, if you're interested. Yeah, it's just this really cute textured, if I show you the back you'll be able to see the texture. You can see the texture really well there. Really cute sort of textured waistcoat. It's knit out of chunky weight wool, which is why it was so quick. And I used the Stylecraft, get this, the Life Chunky by Stylecraft, and this is 75% premium acrylic, 25% wool. And the shade, it's Cardinal is the colourway. And that's shade number 2306 if you're interested. But yeah, this just knit up really, really quickly, and it's very cute. I have a random assortment of red and green buttons on the front here because my button collection is quite random. But it's for a little one. I don't think it needs smart buttons, and it looks very cute on him. And in fact, I will add a little video in here to sort of show you him modelling it, which I took earlier in the week. Okay, so hopefully you've just seen the video of Jasper, if I remembered to put it in. But yeah, that's him modelling his little waistcoat. And it's perfect for summer. On those cooler days, but when he can still have short sleeves as well. Okay, so that is finished object number 2. Now, on to the exciting one. And before I show this, I'm going to have a little sip of tea. Oh, it's got even darker outside. The light keeps changing. It is absolutely tipping it down. I don't actually know if you can hear the rain. You might be able to. It's really warm though. So yeah, again, if you can hear traffic noise, I apologise. I have got the windows slightly open because our flat gets really, really, really hot. And yeah, it's just too hot without them open slightly. But yeah, the light keeps changing, so I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, finished object number 3 is here. I finished my 3-colour cashmere shawl, and I am so pleased with this, and I need to be really careful not to dip the ends in my tea. And here it is. It is absolutely massive, and I know you can't see me. I'm just going to talk to you from behind it while I show it to you. It is absolutely massive. I will attempt to put it on. Ooh! I mean, I would probably style it. Well, I don't style anything. I just shove clothes on. I would probably attempt to style it like something like that. But the ends are still all the way down here. Oh, I haven't quite. I have weaved my ends in and I've blocked it. I just haven't got around to snipping them off after I'd weaved them in. But I will do that soon. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with it. And it is super soft and super comfortable, and I think it would be really nice for summer evenings because it's not super heavy. It's a really lightweight. It's a really, I mean, you can see when I hold it up. It's a really sort of drapey. You can almost, in fact, you can probably see me through it. It's a really sort of drapey fabric. So yeah, and you've seen the progress on this. So I won't go into too much detail, but the yarns, as you know from previous episodes, the dark grey and the light grey are stranded Dyeworks in her, that's gone crazy, in her Oasis Fingering base. The light grey is Spook and the dark grey is Highway Code. And the purple is Sparkle Duck in the Who Needs Chocolate colourway, and they're all a merino nylon blend, but obviously this one has stellina in. I don't know if you can quite see that. And yes, the lace isn't perfect. I mentioned last time that I was having some issues with the start of the lace. I'd not done lace this considerable before. So you can kind of see at this end it is right. That is what it's supposed to look like. Probably, yeah. That is what it's supposed to look like, the kind of chevrons. In the middle, the bottom two look like that, but the top two don't. But to be fair, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, nobody is going to notice that little mistake when I'm wearing it at all. And as I've mentioned before, I can, look back at this and that was the first big lace project I did. I mean, to me, this is a big lace project. I want to knit more, having kind of worked out how to keep hold of it. how to keep track of it and everything like that. But yeah, I don't mind that. It's fine. The thing that took me the longest with this was casting off. You cast off with and in fact, I haven't got proper blocking wires, so it's there, but it's not brilliantly visible. But anyway, you cast off with a picot bind off. That took me ages. But I'm glad I did it because it was worthwhile. So yeah, so here it is, and I can just about get it all on screen. It is longer than my wingspan. I don't know if I can do it yet. It is longer than my wingspan. It is absolutely massive, but it is stunning, and I am super happy with it. And I'm so excited to have it finished. And I just want it to be cold enough to wear it. And it smells really good. It smells really sheepy. And lovely. And I love it. And I could go on and on and on and on and on about it. But, yeah. One very happy knitter having finished, for me, quite a big project. And my hair has gone absolutely crazy now. So yeah, 3-colour cashmere shawl by Joji Locatelli, which I didn't mention, is finished. And I'm super pleased with this. And I'm going to stop rambling now. I'm going to fold it up neatly. Ish. And pop it down there. Okay, so that is all my finished objects. But 3 finished objects in 2 weeks, I don't think that's bad going, is it? So, let's move on to works in progress. Now, having finished 3 things, my works in progress are slightly limited. The only actual work in progress that you've seen before that I still have on the go is my sock head hat, which is a pattern by Kelly McClure. Find it on Ravelry, and you're probably getting bored of this. I would be, but the yarn is so pretty that actually it's lovely to knit on. But it's still going on. I will just show it quickly because you probably are getting bored of it. And I have made some progress. So anyway, here we go. This is my sock head hat. And the progress keeper, oh, sorry, the light's going to do really funny things now. The progress keeper shows where I was last time I showed this. So I have made a considerable amount of progress. I've been taking this with me wherever I go out, which is why it doesn't get that much progress. But this goes to Arthur's gym class with me. This has been coming to Slimming World with me. So they're the times it gets the most work on it, really. So it will get there. It's slow progress, and it's going to be one you'll probably keep seeing. I think I still need to do another 4 or so inches of stocking stitch. But yeah, it's going to be lovely. And it's going to make a lovely hat when it's finished. It's a slouchy hat, so although it looks like it could be very close to finishing now, it isn't. I could finish it and it would be a beanie. But I'm really pleased with it. I think it's going to be really, really lovely when it's finished. And the yarn I've shown 100 times, but it is absolutely gorgeous, so I'm sure you won't mind seeing it again. And again, this is Stranded Dyeworks. And this is again her Oasis Fingering base, which is a 75/25 merino nylon. And this is the Naive watercolour colourway. But yeah, it is so pretty. So there we go. So that is the only sort of continuing work in progress that I have. So the only one you've seen before. So we'll move on to new cast ons. So obviously, having finished 3 objects, I had to cast on some new things. Now, the first thing I cast on was, I'm not actually sure if this is the right thing. Yes, it is. The Avenue socks, which is a pattern by Mina Phillips knitting expat, and it's part of the New York Sock Club patterns, which I joined earlier in the year. So my Grand Central socks that I made were the first of these patterns, and these are the Avenue socks, and so this is the second pattern. And basically it's 7 patterns released monthly, and they started in March. So the Grand Central socks were March's, these are April's, and there's also the Union Square socks were released at the beginning of May, which I can't wait to knit, but I haven't started yet. So I have got a hoe, I have one finished object, and the light is going to do horrendous things. See if I can get this to... so these are the Avenue socks, and it is a slip stitch pattern. Oh no, don't focus on me, focus on the sock. That's it. But it's really clever because you kind of make up, using her pattern, I mean I can't go into too much detail because it is a paid for pattern, but using her pattern you kind of make up your own pattern, which I loved, although I did have a lot of contemplation as to how I was going to do it. She has a stacked pattern and a staggered pattern, and I've used the stacked pattern. But yeah, I'm really happy with them. They've been really, really fun to knit. And the yarn I'm using is, so it's Drops Fable, but the heels, cuffs and toes are Drops Fable. Ooh, I've lost my project bag. Where did I put it? Back here, because I've probably got the label in here somewhere. There we go. Yeah, Drops Fable in the colour... It's one of the ones that got attacked by tea when I dropped my tea a few weeks ago. There we go. So Drops Fable. So that's a 75-25, which is wool, 75% wool and 25% polyamide. You get details there. And this is colour 105. And the other colour is this one. This is also Drops Fable, but I dyed this. So this was just their white. It's getting really blown out. This was just their sort of their white. I think it was colour 100, but then I've dyed this one with food colouring. And I'm really happy with the way it's knit up. It's pooling in a couple of places, but the way I dyed it was, I really randomly hand painted it. I just sort of dabbed dye all over it. It wasn't painted in sections or anything like that. It was really random, so I had absolutely no idea how this knit up. But there's a few little pooly patches, but mostly, and the colours really aren't coming across, it's a lot more green than it's coming up. It's coming up quite blue on the camera, but there's a lot more green in there than you're seeing in this light, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm really happy. It came up really variegated, and I'm really enjoying them. So I finished sock number 1, and there are loads of ends because of the heels, toes and cuffs, and the cable's getting in the way. But sock number 2 is on its way. There we go. And I've got my little stitch marker from Owl About Yarn that I showed last week as part of the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone little set of stitch markers she did. And it's a little key, if you can see. You saw it, I know. So that is my first new cast on, which I am really happy with. And so then I also cast something else on because I was feeling like all I had was a hat and socks, so I wanted something a bit different. So I also cast on this. Right, bear with me while I get it out. So this is the Oats Cowl by Tin Can Knits. Yeah, there we go. So I'll show you, see if you can. Oh, I can't get you to. There we go. The Oats Cowl by Tin Can Knits. It's a free pattern. Again, it's part of their Simple collection. So I've actually, this is the third of their. Focus on me, please. No, it doesn't want to focus on me. Come back to me. There we go. It's the third pattern of their simple collection that I've knit. So I knit Arthur the barley hat, which I think you've seen. I think I showed that in an earlier episode. I've just finished, in the last episode, I finished the flax light sweater. And then this is the Oates cowl. So they're very similar. The pattern goes across all. So the barley hat was a stocking stitch hat with a garter stitch section. The flax light is a stocking stitch jumper with the garter band down the sleeves. And this is a stocking stitch cowl with a garter section. So this is for Tom, and this is also in yarn I dyed. If it will show you the colours properly. There you go. Not my colours at all, but he picked them, and basically he wanted me to dye him some yarn inspired by don't focus on me, focus on the yarn, on a video, based on a video game character. And I've showed this before with the picture of the character as well, but he's really, really happy with it. But it's sort of green, brown with small patches of yellow. So this is, one I dyed myself. And these are his colours, completely not my colours, but they're his colours and he's really happy with it. And here's the progress on the cowl. It looks really small, but I'm doing right needle sizes and right number of stitches, and in fact I've even gone up a needle size slightly, because I know I'm usually quite tight, but it is stretchy, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, he actually wants quite a tight cowl. He often wears the one I knit for Arthur, so that's fine by me. But yeah, so here we go. I cast this on at knit night last night, so I'm not too far into it, but I have done the oh, come on, focus, there we go. I've done the rib. It's a free pattern, but yeah, you start with 1 by 1 rib, and then you go into the stocking stitch, and then you've got the garter panel there as well. So yeah, it will be lovely. The yarn as I'm knitting it is, obviously you can see it's kind of, the yellow is coming up in these sections with this tension and this size project, but he's quite happy with that. That's fine by him. Otherwise the orange, the brown and green are just kind of striping. But yeah, this is a worsted weight yarn. This is it's not focusing on me again, it'll come back. This is a Knit Picks, one of the Knit Picks Bear yarns, in their worsted weight. So it is 100% superwash, 100% superwash merino. So yeah, that is project number 2. So hopefully this won't take me too long to do. It's very enjoyable to knit on because it's very simple. Again, it's just stocking stitch, but then you've got the little garter section which adds a little bit more interest. Yeah, and on here I've also got some nice stitch markers. I've got my again, these are also from the Owl About Yarn stitch marker set that I bought, the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So there's a little witch's hat, go, and then the little Philosopher's Stone little gem there. I like having nice stitch markers. It makes your project look pretty, doesn't it? So yeah, so they are all of my current works in progress. I have a few things planned. I want to knit a, as I've said before, in fact I will have to go and get that in a second. I'd forgotten about the yarn for that. Anyway, I want to knit a flax light for Arthur, which I'm going to knit in, he wanted a purple jumper, which is fine by me. He loves purple, he can have a purple jumper. However, I didn't want it to be a completely purple jumper, and I wanted it to be stripy because I thought that'd be quite nice. Although I can't obviously enter for prizes, it would be nice to be knitting some stripy things along with the cowl. So I was going to knit him grey, navy and purple. So I was going to do grey, navy, grey, purple, grey, so the grey in between the navy and the purple stripes. So I have actually bought some yarn for that, which I have completely forgotten about because it's shoved in a drawer. Maybe I'll show that next time. I bought some Drops Baby Merino, I think it's called. So it's 100% Superwash Merino, but it was really cheap. It was like £1.50 a ball. So yeah, should go through the washing machine. Should be fine. But wasn't ridiculously expensive. So yeah. And I also I showed the cowl last week. I wanted to knit the stripy cowl. The duotone cowl, and I've got all that. Oh, voice going again. I've got all that yarn, the yarn for that caked up and everything ready. I haven't started it because I looked, and you have to do a provisional crocheted cast on, which I've never done before. So that will require a little bit of research and a hunt through YouTube to see if I can find something to show me how to do that. But yeah, so I've got a few things planned for the future, which I'm looking forward to. Okay, so let's move on now to some blanket progress. Okay, as I said, I have been working on my blanket. So this is my scrappy project. I know a lot of people have been doing the Cozy Memories blankets, but I've said before, that didn't really appeal to me. The thought of knitting little squares, it just didn't appeal to me. I think they look lovely. I really like the look of them, but from what I can gather from watching people knit them on podcasts, it involves quite a bit of picking up stitches in between each squares when you go to knit. I hate picking up stitches. So I didn't want to do that. So what I have done instead is a crocheted blanket. But again, I wasn't keen at the time of doing the granny stripe blanket that a lot of people seem to be doing, because the thought of chaining and then 300 odd stitches to make it wide enough didn't appeal to me. And also, I think they look amazing, but I wanted something that was going to show the yarns off individually. And I think the way that the granny stripes work, I think some yarns could get quite lost in there. And actually, I am intending on doing at some point, we're using up like the rest of my scraps that haven't gone into this, or that have gone into this and that I've still got scraps left over. I would quite like to do something similar to the granny stripe blanket, or something like that. But I really wanted this to really show off the yarns individually. So what I'm doing is squares. So yeah, I'm doing individual squares which are then joined together, as you can see. Now, when I showed this last time, I had done the first row. So I'll run through the first row really, really quickly. And then I will go in more detail through the second row because you haven't seen those before, but it's been a while. So this is the yarn I've knit my first pair of socks out. It's a Bergère de France, it's the Gumi 50 in the Imprim Rose colourway. Then this is a Rosie's Moments that I bought at Unravel last year. And I think it was called Rainbow Brights. I don't know if you can see, but it's got, in fact, I'm going to come and sit a bit closer. It's going to make my face go very funny, but I can show you this a bit more easily. So, Bergère de France Imprim Rose. This is the Rainbow Brights colourway, and yep, you can see the stellina in there. Then this one was Mothy and the Squid, which I knit my rainbow socks from, and that's Summer Skies Rainbow. Then these were Rosie's Moments. They're just minis that I bought at Unravel this year. So there's that one. Oh, that's not quite colouring up. It's a very lime, sort of neon-y green and pinky purple. Then there's this sort of purple and grey one. Yeah, this is... Then this one's getting really washed out as well, sort of blue and green. Let's see if I can get you to get better colours. Then there's this one as well, which is really pretty. Okay, and then these ones are Easy Knits, and this one was Tropic, and that one was Zippy, and then what else was there? So this one is Fine Fish Yarns, in Bad Hep colourway, and then this one is the Self-Striping, the Owl About Yarn in the Lilac Mist, and I'm sorry, it's mostly focusing on me. I'm going to come back and see if the light's any better back here. In the Lilac Mist colourway. So that was my first row. I have since added a second row on. So this is, oh, that's not too bad. Peggy May yarns in the Alice in Wonderland colourway that I knit my Neville socks out of. This was just an Easy Knits mini that I picked up at Ravelry, and this was Pond Hopper. Then this one is Peggy May yarns again, and this was from her Valentine's Day yarn box, which I knit my Love Along socks out of. This one is Sheep on Mars, which is one of the ones that Tom bought me, a random skein of yarn that Tom ordered me, and I used this one for my Grand Central socks. Then this one is the Opal Gallery, which I used. This is the Waving Evening Dress, which I used my Waving Evening Dress socks. Then the next 5 are the My Mama Knits zombie ones that I showed you last time. So this one, oh, let's see if I can remember these off the top of my head. This one is Not So Fresh Zombie, which I love. It's completely different to anything else in the blanket, but I really like it. It's sort of browns and greys, these pops of neon green, and then pink and red in there too. I don't think the colours are quite coming up on screen, but yeah. So this one is Brain Candy, and that one's got Stellina in. I don't know if that's not quite coming across. And then Organ Donor, and then that one is, ooh, the light is driving me crazy this week. That one is Last Night a Zombie Saved My Life, and that one I really want to come up nicely because this is the one with the bronze Stellina in. I'm not sure if you can see, but yeah, there is bronze Stellina in that one. And then this one is Your Eyeball is Hanging Out. Yeah, and then these last two here are two of the these are really going to wash out. Oh, that's not too bad. Really, really subtle. Two of the Nora George minis from the April Mini Skein Club, but I showed these last time. So that's one of them, and it's got such subtle speckles of green and pink and blue in there. I don't know whether that's going to come up on the camera, but it is beautiful. So yeah, so that is my progress on my blanket, and it is growing. It's about the width of our double bed. I know in America they've got different names like Queen, and I'm not quite sure what a normal standard double bed translates to, but yeah, and it's kind of the width of our sofa as well. So it's aiming for it to be sort of a really cozy lap blanket for us both on the sofa. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I'm just using, I've said this before, but the yarn I'm using to join them is Cascade Heritage in the, it's just a grey is the name of the colour. It's the grey. Yeah, so it's all sort of sock yarn. I think there are some in there that are 100% merino, as opposed to having nylon content. And obviously I've got a couple of commercial yarns in there, which I'm more than happy having commercial yarns in here. But yeah, that is my blanket progress. So it is coming on nicely, and I've been really enjoying working on this week. It's been really, really nice. Okay, so after blanket progress, let's move on to a bit of yarny goodness. Just roll that up before I shove it back in the bag. Okay, so yarny goodness. Yes, I have had a few things come and live with me this week. Okay, so I will start with this one. Tom, bless him, is obviously feeling guilty because he is off to New York on Friday for just over a week for a conference again, and I think he is feeling he's feeling a bit bad since Jasper's been born. So bearing in mind that's less than 6.5 months, he has been away to conferences. He has been to Hong Kong, Edinburgh, Poland, Newcastle, and now he's off to New York. And I think there was another one in there as well, but I can't quite remember. Yeah, so I think he's been feeling a bit guilty. So anyway, I'm not complaining that he's feeling guilty at all, because it meant that I come home to mystery packages, which is lovely. So he ordered me some yarn, and he knows I've been really enjoying my blanket recently, so he ordered me some mini skeins. So these are from Oasis Yarns. I will show you her card because it'll probably focus a little bit more easily. Come on, focus on the card. Oasis Yarns. It's a lovely card. And there are her details, if that will focus. Yeah, so these are Sherlock mini skeins, and I haven't taken them out of the package, so hopefully they're in the right order. But I think they are. This one is a study in pink. This one is the game is on. This one is the woman. This one is I'll burn the heart of you. And this one is I don't shave for Sherlock Holmes. So yeah, they're really, really pretty. I don't know if I can get it to focus without taking them out of the package. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry for the glare there. There we go. Just lovely, sort of some of them slightly variegated, some of them are slightly tonal. And yeah, they're all 10 gram minis. And I'm really looking forward to getting these. Oh, sorry, I knocked the camera there. Really looking forward to getting these into my blanket. And they came with, which was lovely, and Tom didn't realise, a few little bits. So first of all, they came with a little Sherlock pin, the little thumbprint. It came with a little, if I can get that to focus. It is focused, but the light's glaring on it. No, it's not focused. Oh dear, sorry, hang on. Just wave this around at you until I can get it in the right place. There we go. Believe in Sherlock, little progress keeper. And finally, it came with a lovely little thank you progress keeper, which I think is really sweet. So it was a really nice little package to get. It was wrapped beautifully, really, really nice, and I'm really happy with them. I'm pretty sure, so I think the label on the back is wrong, because the label on the back says they're DK weight, and they're not DK weight, and it says that they're 75% BFL, 25% Masham, but having felt them and looked at them, I don't think that, I think the label on the back is just, she's just got the wrong base on this label. But Tom said that when he ordered them, he's pretty sure he ordered merino nylon 75-25, and that's what they look like and what they feel like. So yeah, so that's Oasis Yarns, and she does a lot of little sort of, she's got quite a few mini skein packs on her Etsy shop. I'm sorry, I should have said she's on Etsy, with different themes. She's got some Star Trek ones on there, I think I saw, and obviously the Sherlock ones, and she does a lot of different weight minis as well, which is quite cool. Okay, so the next thing I'll show you, let's stick on the mini skein theme. So these, might come with a spoiler warning, I guess. Yeah. So this is the Mini Skein Club from Peggy May Yarns. And I'm going to put a spoiler warning in because it's fun and I like my spoiler warning. So, spoiler warning. I have had these for 2 weeks though, so hopefully you will have received yours, well, nearly 2 weeks. But anyway, hopefully you will have received yours by now, if you haven't, if you've ordered this. But anyway, here they are. So these again, they're 10 gram minis. I'm trying to avoid the glare. I don't really want to take out the package. But you've got, they're just sort of lovely sort of tonal green. I'm going to take these out of the package. The other ones showed more easily in the packet. Sorry for the crinkling if people don't like it. The reason I didn't take the other ones out of the packet is because I wanted to keep them in order so that I could keep track of the names of the different colourways, but these don't have names, so that's fine. So you've got this lovely sort of tan and brown tonal colour, this lovely sort of pinky red variegated-y speckled colour, really tonal with speckles as well. This is much brighter than it's coming up on screen. This is much more of a neon green as well. And then again, this is probably going to wash out on the screen as well, but this is again is a very, very bright yellow, but everything's washing out slightly today because of the light. I bring it back, is it gonna? No. And then this lovely tonal pink as well, which is very pretty. This isn't that bright. This is probably maybe a little bit washed out, but that's not too bad actually with the pink. So yeah, so that's another lovely set of minis that I can put into my blanket. So I'm really, really, really happy about that. And they're really pretty. Okay, so that's all the minis. And then, stop twiddling my hair now, it's ridiculous, isn't it? The one other thing that I have, again, should probably come with a spoiler warning. So I signed up to the Golden Yarns Back to the Future Mystery Club. Again, I've had this yarn for nearly 2 weeks. It arrived just after I podcast last time. So everybody should have received theirs by now, but if you haven't, and you don't want to see, then look away. But here it is. And this is absolutely amazing. It needs to focus on the yarn. There we go. This is stunning. So she had various options when you signed up for it. You could get it with or without the contrasting mini. I decided to go with. But yeah, it's stunning. So you've got this gorgeous sort of mint green mini skein, and this just absolutely stunning speckled amazingness. I mean, just look at those speckles there, and that purple and the yellow around the back here. It's absolutely stunning. And I really cannot decide what I want to make with this. My original intention was to buy it to make socks, but you know when you just get a skein of yarn that is so pretty, you just can't imagine wearing it as socks. I mean, that's what happened with my Naive Watercolour Stranded, which is why that's becoming a hat, so that it can be on show. And I've got a skein of hedgehog fibres, which again, that's not becoming socks, that's going to become a shawl at some point. But yeah, this needs to become something that isn't socks. This needs to become something special, because it is just so pretty, that I don't know what to do with it at the moment. But it will live in my stash for a little while, until I can decide what to do. And I love her labels. So the colourway is Great Scott, And you know what? I really need to watch Back to the Future. I spotted it again. We've got the two films. Now my brain's going dead. 2 films, 3 films. Anyway, 2 or 3. I can't remember. But we've got the DVDs. We've got a box set of the Back to the Future films. I really need to watch them again. It's been absolutely ages. We went through a stage, probably when we were first married, so nearly 8 years ago. We went through a stage of watching a lot of those films. We watched Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, Ghostbusters. We sort of watched them almost repetitively for absolutely ages. But we've got out the habit of watching DVDs. We tend to watch stuff on Netflix and things now. So our DVDs just tend to sit on the DVD rack and get played with by Arthur and not really watched. So I might have to convince Tom that we need to start watching some again. But I definitely really want to watch Back to the Future again now that I've got this yarn. But anyway, so that was the yarn, which is, the light is doing horrendous things too, but I've shown it and it's beautiful. But it also came with a little stitch marker sort of progress keeper, which is absolutely brilliant. Let's see if I can get this to show. It's the flux capacitor, and it's on one of these. The card is brilliant anyway. It's on one of these sort of earring clasps, which I've not used before, but I'm quite interesting to see. They look like they'll be much easier to use. And it also came with a sticker. My sticker got a little bit mangled by Arthur, unfortunately. But yeah, Hill Valley Preservation Society, save the clock tower. So yeah, it was an amazing mystery club, and I can't wait until she releases the second one because I want to sign up for that as well. She definitely said she was going to be doing another one, but I would highly recommend it. It was a lovely, lovely little kit that arrived, and I've shown her card before, but she does these amazing cards. I think she's doing, focus on the card, I think she's doing enamel pins now with the Knit Happens on as well. And then there's the details on the back. So that's all my yarny goodness. But I did get something else. So I went and babysat for one of my friends the other week. When it was her birthday and they were going out for the evening, and yeah, she asked and I said, of course I'll come and babysit, that's fine. But to say thank you to me for babysitting, she bought me this. Monster hats, 15 scary head warmers to knit. And this is brilliant. I have never knit anything like this before, but the majority of them are knit in DK or chunky weight yarns. And this is brilliant because we are going, hopefully, we are planning on going skiing in January with my parents and my brother and his girlfriend, and obviously Arthur and Jasper as well. My mum doesn't ski anymore. And the last time we went, Arthur was 1. So he was actually the same age that Jasper will be when we go in January. And my mum was able to look after him while the rest of us skied. And this time round, my mum will be able to look after Jasper, and Arthur will be 4, so he'll be old enough to go into ski school. So that's kind of the plan. And having received this, we're going in January. I think I need to knit one of these hats for everyone that's going skiing to wear while we're skiing. So they're amazing. There's 15 different hats, and I think there is a page with them all on. Not quite, but there's nothing in here apart from the contents, so I can show you both these pages without giving anything away. But yeah, here they all are. And they're ridiculous, but they're so much fun. And yeah, I'm definitely going to have a good look at this and see if I can start knitting some of these for Christmas presents. And then we can all have ridiculous hats to wear skiing. And if I do it, and we do all wear them skiing, I promise to put a picture on the podcast so that you can see how ridiculous we all looked. But I was really pleased with that. It was lovely. It was a really nice gift, and really, really thoughtful as well. So that is all my yarny goodness. And in terms of behind the scenes, we haven't been up to a lot. We went... we didn't go anywhere. Where did we go? What did we do? So we had some friends round a couple of the weekend before last for a games evening. That was really nice. They cooked, which was really, really sweet. So they always come to us because we've got kids and they haven't. So it's much easier if they come to us because obviously we can put the kids to bed before they arrive, and we haven't got any issues with babysitters or anything like that. But because they always come to us, we've always cooked, which is fine. Big disclaimer, Tom cooks. Tom loves cooking. He does most of the cooking in our household, which is brilliant because I find cooking stressful. I don't mind baking and things like that, but actually trying to cook a meal for multiple people and getting it all organised, I find it stressful. By the time I've cooked it, I don't really want to eat it. He does most of the cooking. But because we've always cooked, they sort of said to us, right, this time we're going to bring it with us and we will cook it at your house. And so that was really nice. They cooked us dinner at our own house. It was a bit bizarre, but that was lovely. And we had a really sort of nice games evening as well. And then week was just normal. Arthur was at nursery his few days. We did all our normal bits and pieces. Jasper's been absolutely fine. So that just plodded on as normal. This weekend just gone, we went to Hatchlands Park for the day, which was quite fun. It's a National Trust property down near Guildford. So a little bit of a drive for us, but not too far. We went and had a picnic. It was one of those days where one minute it was beautiful sunshine and then the next it was tipping it down with rain. But no, we had a really nice day. Arthur really enjoyed it. I think I've got a couple of pictures that I can put in at the end as well. But that's about it really. I'll update you on my Slimming World progress, seeing as I talked about it last time. So I've been back at Slimming World for 2 weeks now, and I have lost 6.5 pounds in 2 weeks, which I'm quite happy with, especially bearing in mind that our friends cooked for us one night, and that was they made pizza from scratch, but still it was pizza, which is not the best thing when you're trying to lose a bit of baby weight. But yeah, so that was fine. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I will keep you up to date with my progress on that. Hopefully you'll notice progress on that as we go along. But anyway, I will leave it there this week, I think. Come along and join us in the Ravelry group. I will set up a chatter thread for the stripe along, so come and let me know if you're thinking of joining in, what you're thinking of knitting. It'd be lovely to hear from you. And yeah, if you have enjoyed the podcast then and haven't done so yet, please click subscribe down below, and then you'll be kept up to date with when I update new videos. And yeah, hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed it as well, because that just gets the video out there a little bit more. Okay, I will leave you now with a couple of pictures. I'm not quite sure how many I've got, but a few little pictures of what we've been up to. And I will see you again in a couple of weeks' time. Bye!